We're about to go do a meet and greet, but some people don't want to be on camera, so we won't have everybody. So when you see the camera doing this, that's me putting it on this instead, on the stabilizer.
Yeah, all right, I'm gonna aim it at the sky first before I put it on people's face. All right, who we got here?
My name is Ash. I live a van life, and I am an extra witness.
Welcome to the other side, to the real truth.
My name is Lou. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I am also an ex-Jehovah's Witness. Thank goodness.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Carly. I'm from Virginia, but I live in Baltimore. And I'm also an ex-Jehovah's Witness here.
Good to have you.
Hi, my name is Laurel. I'm from Virginia.
It's her daughter. She said there was such pride. Yep, family still together. Made it out together. Yep. Then swing it this way. All right, in case somebody over there don't want to be seen. Who we got?
Hey everyone, I'm Tony. I'm from Las Vegas. I'm also ex-Jehovah's Witness. I'm here to speak up and take a stand for those who don't have voice.
Let's do it.
My best life.
The real best life. All right, well, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, guys.
The real truth. All right, we're going to point this at the sky so we don't get nobody in trouble with the elders. All right. Boom. Who we got?
Mr. Super.
Here to save the day. Joe is in the house.
Okay.
Live in the flesh.
Joe and Fran.
And Fran is over here. Here we go, his friend. From the UK, welcome. Good to have you.
And Will.
Oh, glad you made it.
And it's Will.
For sure.
We got Will. Nice meeting you. Joe is in the house. Two Joes. What you holding there, Joe? Oh, in bold letters, Jehovah's Witnesses destroy families.
Destroyed my family, that's for sure.
Destroyed mine too. Hers too. We're not making it up. Yep. It is, and guess what? We could be ourselves, and we don't kick everybody out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, they are.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank
Waking
you
up
for
to freedom.
Thank
Yep.
you.
That's what we're looking for. Yep, we appreciate that.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
How's everybody doing? It's going good.
Good, good.
Good day.
Good to be here.
Good to be here.
Yep, can't get in trouble for it.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you and your partner here.
All right, thanks for your support.
Thank you.
Popping up to see us. All right. All religions must respect human rights.
There's a sign in there.
Oh, I got it. I'm sure you recognize this lady here. Kirby in the house. All right. No name? Cameron, no name? All right. We have food.
Hey man, you know I'm happy to be on. What's your channel name?
Awaken Truth.
Awaken Truth.
Something.
And it's really cool to be here and see a guy that really outkicked his coverage.
Oh, appreciate that. Elders can't tell me what to do. I'm grown.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Here we go.
Every time I see him, I feel raised.
Who we got here? Live in the flesh.
Or Infinite Light.
Infinite Light. Check her out.
Shout out the channel.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Thanks for showing up.
Being here.
Yeah, good being here. Anybody else?
Miss Ivy in the
Uh-oh.
house and Dina.
We couldn't do it without them.
Okay.
How y'all feeling today? Good. It's all right. We gonna do it. We gave talks and stuff. We didn't even really believe in it. Yeah. It's like, yeah. Yep, we got ours too. It's like at least I understand what I'm about to talk about.
Right. We
Yeah.
live, breathe, and eat this, so we got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah, we're not selling wolf tickets.
Right.
Yep.
And that's drinks.
Right.
We still had those magazine clips inside the Bible.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'd be in the car like, what am I supposed to say again? Oh yeah, that's it.
Yep.
And then whenever they'd ask a question, I'd be like, I didn't prepare for this. Can I come back next time?
Very interesting question. You know what? I'll come back and ask you next time.
Yeah.
What's the best time for me to come and meet you?
You're right. Yeah, I ain't going back here for 2 weeks.
Threshold a little bit. You do that threshold 3 times. Bible study.
Yep.
Some trickery.
Ain't it?
You
Yeah.
have no idea. They being real and slow. Just come on.
Uh-huh.
It was handoff time for me. It was a return visit. It was like, y'all need some return visits?
For real.
I got this one. And I just, I really want them to, because I feel like they're, so I think that it should go to the smarter,
Uh-huh.
more prepared. And I just, I think I do that all the time.
And y'all pioneer, y'all got all week to come over here. Yeah. Ooh wee, how was that?
I had to find the nooks and crannies of making it, but I did it.
Sheesh.
Like, let it ride in your heart today.
Oh, that's life is happening. You gotta do 60 hours a month.
I know.
Yeah, it's a,
Fit that in and live life and make all the meetings.
right.
Study for all the meetings.
You just gotta pray.
Rely on Jehovah.
Just pray.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Yup.
No, actually, if it's bothering you, it's because you're
Yup.
because you're not putting your burdens on Jehovah.
Yup.
Feeling the struggle, then you need to meditate and do some. Okay.
Because you are the problem. Yeah.
how's your family study going?
Right.
Doing your daily Bible reading?
Is it every week?
That's the
Every week, because if you miss a week, that is a chance for Satan to make you
He gonna jump on you. He just sitting like this on the porch in the window.
put any gaps.
Nope.
No gaps for Satan.
Nope.
Gaps.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
self-flagellation. Feeling like you're not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's that called again? Say it again.
Self-flagellation.
Self-flagellation.
Flagellation.
I like
Yeah.
that. I've learned a new word.
Yep. This stuff never stops. Oh, thank y'all. All right, we'll move the camera up. Oh, what we got? Wake up, Shun and Divides families love. See? Everybody just has this thing about dividing families. We're not making this up.
Okay.
It's not a coincidence. See, this organization is falling apart.
What was your name? Jack.
This is Jen. What's going on, Jen?
The speakers were ready, that's for sure. All right. So whenever y'all see me put my hand up like this, that means we're about to chant something, all right? So 1, 2, 3, we're gonna say Shun no more. You ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Shun no more!
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 That's all y'all got?
We need some more.
Y'all need some more.
Okay.
All right, we gotta take it up a notch.
Got you. Take it up a notch.
Y'all take it up a notch, y'all
Take it
ready?
up a notch.
I'm gonna see what y'all can do without me. How about that?
All
Put the
right.
fist up.
Yep.
Here we go.
Shun no more! Shun no more!
Say it like you're being shunned.
Shun no more!
There we go. Yes. Love that. Well, y'all know why we're
This
here
I think we
today.
can put back.
I also want to do a collective
If somebody-
moment
did you want to
of
record
just
our part?
silence. It
we're
is
gonna have it on
Suicide
the live
Awareness
stream.
and
We can cut
Prevention
it.
Month.
Okay.
So we're also here to remember those who have taken their lives as a result of being shunned.
Got somebody to hold
For
our
those
close.
who don't know, shunning psychologically is social isolation. And it does have long-term psychological impacts. So for all of us here, we're encountering and having to deal with a tremendous amount of mental and emotional challenges that affect us privately, but also publicly, right?
Yeah.
So think about that as we move through today. A lot of our people who are coming up for testimonials, they're doing so out of great fear and at great consequence. So I want everyone to give them respect. This is a safe space. This is a peaceful demonstration, okay? So you want to remember that. And where's Will at? This is our awesome veteran.
What's up, Will?
He is going to be helping us with security. So if you encounter any situation that's aggressive, do not engage. Look for Will. He's trained in de-escalation tactics, so we're glad we got him on our side. Yes? Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, I'm just...
Yes.
So listen, for those of you who don't know, I'm Ivy, and I'm grateful to be here today. I was fortunate enough to work with the founder of this free movement, so it's definitely my honor to be here, and I want to say thank you to the founder, and thank you to all of you for showing up.
Woo!
For yourselves, standing up for your truth, and hopefully standing up for those who are contemplating or thinking about ending their lives, right?
Yeah.
So we are a representation of those who are left behind, forced to carry those burdens, forced to deal with those memories and those reflections. So thank you for standing up for them, because they need us, okay? They may be gone, but they're not forgotten, right? And the Watchtower would like us to believe that when you're gone, you're gone. They treat us like we don't exist. For some of us, they treat us like we're dead even, right?
Yeah.
And so what we're going through is a social death. It's a mourning, a grieving process. You literally have to go through the stages. I mean, I was irate at one point, right?
Yeah.
And then you're in a state of disbelief. And then you're like, but wait, how could I?
Right.
Why didn't I see the flags? So you don't have to worry about beating yourself up with guilt. No more self-flagellation, because we all have been there and we now all are here, right? We're here together, together. I don't want anyone here to forget that. You're not alone, okay? There's a lot of resources out there. The person next to you, I want you to look at them and say, I'm here for you.
I'm here for
Yes.
you. Oh, look at me.
I'm here for all of you. All right? Beautiful, beautiful. So I want to talk about life. You know, sometimes you may wonder, where does life begin? Where does it end? Is it simply as birth and then death? Is that decided in one decision or a series of decisions? And as we've had to sit and wait, worry and fret, we know that there's countless decisions that are being made in our behalf, and we didn't even ask for those decisions to be made. So we're here to transform our pain into power.
Yeah.
We're not here to continue to wallow in that state of shame and grief. We're here to stand proud of our truth.
Yeah.
To own our stories, to own our experiences, and to demand to be heard, to demand to be listened to. Because there's a difference between someone hearing what you have to say and them actually listening to what you have to say, okay? And that's why we are here, to be listened to insist and demand change. How do we go about bringing change? We have a wonderful human rights speaker that's going to come here today and let us know about our rights. All right, we were told not to be politically involved, to be neutral, but if we continue to take that stance, nothing will change, okay? You now have the free will to choose to make a change, all right? So that's what we want to walk away from here today. We want to walk away with the mindset that we're going to actually get involved, not just for ourselves, but again for the people who weren't able to make it here, for those who are online, anyone contemplating, feeling like their life doesn't matter. We want to make sure that we get involved for them. Now, we're going to talk about words, right? Words have power. And regardless of people saying sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt, right? No, these words that we've experienced, they hurt. And one of the aspects of social isolation is that in the brain, it recognizes it the same as physical pain. Now, I've never broken a bone, but I've given birth to a child, and that hurt, okay? So think about it. Any physical pain that you've encountered, a migraine, a broken arm, an ulcer, acid reflux, whatever it is, the psychological abuse that you're experiencing is just as intense, if not more severe. Because unaddressed, it's not going to go anywhere. And even after you address it, you still have to carry the weight. When we talk about the power of words, you know, there's a proverb that says both life and death are in the power of the tongue. And with those words, people manipulate, distort the truth, and they break us down. They snatch away from us potential and opportunities, a life that we wanted or a life that we never even imagined. All gone because of words. So to illustrate, right, y'all know there once was a man. He used his words to manipulate and persuade an entire country of people, leading them into a world war with just his words. He played on their fear and got them stirred up, and they committed atrocities to their fellow men. We won't even dare to say his name, but we already know what he did in the genocide that he committed, but it was all with words. And we're experiencing that right now. We're trying to be removed and eliminated because of our truth. They don't want the words to be out there. They don't want people to know the truth of the watchtower, what happens inside, what's going on behind the scenes. They don't want people to know. So your words today have power, but positive power. They're not here to destroy. They're here to create beautiful, unconditional love. Something that we were taught is a complex, actually a concept that we have to kind of figure out, what does that mean? What does love even mean? Because we were love bombed, thinking, oh, okay, I really got people on my side. They're here for me. They would die for me. But where are they? When you're crying, when you're in the closet, when you're writing suicide notes, when you got to take medical leave from work because you can't function, where are they? Loving you. No, they're shunning you. And guess what? Because you're shunned, all of those things are a byproduct because you left us. You left us. So that's why you're suffering. That's why your life is falling apart. Come on back. Come back. And how do they do that? They keep our family and friends as hostages. They use them as bait to get us to come back. And for those of us who are standing here, we haven't taken the bait. We won't take the bait. We will continue, like I said, at great cost, to speak out. We love our family. We love our friends that are there. And it's a shame that we can't actually show love to them, because love is as love does. But they don't know that. They think that keeping quiet, saying their prayers, trying to persuade us to come back, that's love. But now we know better. We know so much better. When you think about all that we can accomplish coming together, we literally could change the trajectory of the Watchtower Bible Tract Society right now. Be Free is a movement. I don't want you guys to think of it as this isolated situation here in Washington, D.C. It's a movement that you can take with you. You can do this in your own town. You can do this in your own area, wherever you are. You can decide to pop up and encourage people to be free. That is a human right that we have, to be free. And let's not talk about the fact that we have freedom of religion in this country. But if we decide to choose our religion or our faith that is different from the Watchtower, it comes at grave consequence. Complete violation of our first constitutional right, freedom of religion. So let me say this again. If you did not know, freedom of religion is a constitutional right. First Amendment, and it should be without consequence. So we need legislative to know that here in this country, you have at least 3,000 cults operating here in the United States. Some even say up to 10,000. But we're just going to go on the low end and say 3,000. That's a lot of people being manipulated and having their rights violated. And it's not just with us as adults. Children are shunned too. And I know this personally because I have a sister who was shunned at the age of 16. 16. Try to explain that to a toddler as to why they can't go and talk to their auntie. Have to make up some type of excuse or rationale as to why TT's on punishment from Jehovah. So today, again, you'll hear testimonials from people who will speak about what actually has happened to them and it's gonna get emotional. We're gonna have moments of silence. We're gonna have moments of tears. But this is a moment of victory. So before I bring up our first speaker to share her testimony, I do want to let everyone know that if you need to use the restroom, there's a Potbelly's about 5 minutes in walking distance from here. So I want you guys to be able to go there, obviously, whenever you want, and be able to get some relief if that's what you need. Be considerate of other people's privacy as well. Some of us here cannot afford to be seen online speaking their truth, which is a shame that we still have individuals who have to hide with their pain. They have to hide. So if you're taking pictures, you're taking video, just be mindful to ask the individuals in your frame if it's okay to post them online. Now, what I want to do is have another moment where we get our energy up before I bring up Ash and she shares her experience with us. So whenever you see this, what y'all gonna do?
Shun no more.
What was that? Okay.
Shun no more. Shun no more. Shun no more.
Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this from last year? All right. From the bottom of your feet to the crown of your head. 1, 2, 3.
Shun no more.
That's right. I couldn't do that on the mic. I might have blew the speakers. Right? So bringing up Ash today, she's originally from Rochester, New York. She was raised one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and she believed that this religion was the only solution for mankind's problems. For those who don't know, that's what they teach. Do not put your faith and trust in men or the government. Be politically neutral. Don't vote. Pray, in the end is coming. Matter of fact, it's near. It's nearer than near. It's closer to the last of the days that it's ever been before. At least that's what people say. So, she's never voted, celebrated holidays, and not even her own birthday. She's a singer and a songwriter. She's transforming her pain into power by using the arts. So if you would please grace us with your appearance and presence. Let's thank you. Yes, let's celebrate her. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. The floor is yours. Do you need me to take down this mic?
Yes. Hello? Okay. Yes, it's perfect. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm nervous, but I am very honored to be here today with every one of you. So, I am physically out and mentally out from the organization, which is another way, short term is POMO. I am POMO, physically out, mentally out. I knew something was wrong when they told me that I can't talk to my family. When I was told to limit my contact with my best friend. And when they told me to not even talk to you guys. I was alone, I was scared, I had no one. We had no one. We were dictated into social isolation. Can you believe that we had to deconstruct from that mindset and make choices of our own instead of asking God what He may think or feel on any decision we choose to make? This religion hides our true personality, who we are, what we like, what we dislike, our values, our strengths, our weaknesses, being true to ourselves without pretending to be someone else. I asked myself, who am I? The day I left, I had an identity crisis, feelings of emptiness, disconnection, and questioning my life's choices and purpose. I have dreamt for my arm to be fixed. In case you guys haven't noticed, I have a hook. This helps me pick up things. I have a disability. There are people out here that have disabilities, whether you're blind, sick, and we know that the Bible says that Jesus will heal the sick, Jesus will heal the blind, Jesus will heal the disabled. That was one of the biggest reasons why I stayed as a Jehovah's Witness. But they gave me false hope. It is inhumane to manipulate a person's free will for your own selfish reasoning. One other example I can think of is my mother. As a Jehovah's Witness, you cannot take a blood transfusion. My mother, thank God she was not a Jehovah's Witness, because I could have lost her due to the fact that she needed a blood transfusion. I am aware that speaking out about this is just as important as saving someone's life. I became aware of the things happening around me, and I had thoughts of suicide. I searched for help. I did not give up. And that's why I'm standing here today with all of you. This is the help that we've been searching for. This is the movement that will change history. To bring support to the lost sheep that were abandoned by those they trusted the most. It is respect that will sustain humanity. It is a right to exist. It is a right to be seen as you are now.
Yeah.
It is a right to love another adult.
Yeah.
It is a right to check up on another person. And it is important to remember that all religions must respect human rights.
Yeah.
One more thing, I made a song about this, so if you guys want to watch it on YouTube, it's called Undo.
Okay.
Get me out of here.
What's your channel?
Tell us the channel.
Fallen Ashes.
Fallen Ashes.
Fallen Ashes. What I want to do is just ask you a few questions about your experience. You mentioned that you stayed because you had this hope of being
I got a little
healed.
bit left.
When you came to the realization that that was not going to happen, what was that impact like? Like, what was that truth and how it affected you?
Well, I would say that it affected me to the point where I didn't accept myself, basically. I didn't accept who I was, and I didn't accept I'm not the only one that has a disability in my family. My uncle is paralyzed, so I also hoped for the Paradise Earth to heal him. I also hoped for the Paradise Earth to heal my brother because he has autism. So this was what I was taught, and after realizing that my brother is fine, I'm beautiful the way I am. I don't need to be told to have an ability to be loved. And if there is technology out there to fix this, that's great, but I also love myself. I don't want to go through any more surgery to touch my body. That's my personal decision. But I would say that after realizing that, it made me realize, you know what, I have to love myself now. I have to love myself.
Well, we know loving oneself is a journey. Yeah. I think it's a journey that I'm still on. But it's nice to not be at the beginning of that journey. So let me ask you this. What would you say to organizations that support and advocate for people with physical impairments? What would you say to them right now from all of your pain and all of your realizations? How can they support? What should they know?
Well, one thing I know is when you are dealing with people with disabilities, you have to be social. You can't really shun them. I mean, You have to be able to, certain people with disabilities, you have to physically help them with. You have to touch certain things and help them out. So I'd say for those that are, I'm sorry, I'm nervous right now, but I would say that we shouldn't shun another person in general, even if we just shouldn't shun another person. I'm really nervous.
So I really loved her chant, right? All religions must respect human rights.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Ash put her hand in the air, and we're going to say, respect human rights. Are you ready? All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Respect human rights. Respect human rights. Respect human rights. Respect human rights. Respect human rights.
I don't really know what's happening.
You didn't have your hand up.
Oh, I didn't have my hand up? We're going to do it again. I'll do that. All right, here we go. Hand up. Y'all ready?
Yeah, we ready.
Don't forget. Don't forget. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Respect human rights. Respect human rights. Respect human rights. Respect human rights. One more.
Let's give Ash another round of applause.
Good job, Ash.
Thank you so much for your courage and bravery. Now we're going to invite our next lovely guest up to the mic. She has found her healing and comfort in poetry. We know writing is such a relaxing and healing experience to get those emotions out, some of the things that we feel, not only think, but that we may not want to share with another person for fear of being judged or for fear of people backing away from you because they may feel like that's too much. But she is here today to share with us some pieces she wrote. She is a survivor of child sex abuse and narcissistic parenting. She is a third generation born in witness. Well, she's not any longer. She was baptized at 13 and left at 20. The scars, though, that she has experienced, they're there. They haven't gone anywhere. And that led her to social anxiety, PTSD, and isolation. But she realized actually just last year, that she had been in a cult. And in spite of it all, she's standing with us with courage and resilience. And it's through poetry and music that she has found her path to healing. She will share with us 2 pieces, Unheard, Unseen, and Unhealed. The second piece is Lost Hearts in the Shadows. Let's welcome Dina Lost.
Let's go, Dina.
Hello, everybody.
What's up?
I'm Dina Lost. I have a YouTube channel, Dina Lost Again. And here are my poems. The first one, Unseen, Unheard, Unhealed. In halls of worship where predators play, dark secrets kept and victims blamed each day. A childhood stolen, a soul betrayed, groomers, fake protectors who lead the way. Behind closed doors, in private studies too, predators lurked with Bible verse glue. Door-to-door preaching, a facade so bright, a ruse to gain trust and profit from fright. The governing body, bringers of shame, years of stealth, a deception to maintain. Thousands have suffered in silence and pain. No closure, no remorse, just prolonged shame. Set out of court with hush money paid. Donations misused, a cash silence shade. Trials avoided, truth left unspoken, leaving survivors with wounds and broken. Descendants scarred by trauma's heavy weight, Mental health shattered, a lifelong debate. Tension, despair, and suicidal cries. Echoes of misery hidden by lies. Their faithful slave status, a claim so grand, but God's channel tainted by human hand. Spiritual guides silent to abuse, leaving victims shattered with no excuse. The weight of shame, a deep burden to bear, a lifetime of pain, unbalanced with care. Society's silence, a deafening sound. Survivors may suffer, but voices astound. Out from the shadows of the Kingdom Hall, we weekly gathered, bound by rules and all. Now walking as free souls, we find our way through loneliness and darkness, night and day. Disfellowshipped, shunned, purged, and left behind. Family, friends, and love we cannot find. Conditional love is a heavy chain, binds us to fear, to isolation's pain. But we are not alone and not adrift, for in our shared past we find a rare gift. A great crowd of survivors, strong and true, working together to heal and renew. We grasp the pain, the hate disguised as love, reproof and isolation from above. We fight from being captives of the past. Now we can see life without them at last. So let us stand united side by side, lifting up each other, no need to hide. Our small network is resilient and bold. Together we heal and never grow cold. No longer speak alone, we find our voice. In this journey forward, we make a choice to break free from chains, to shatter the mold, to embrace our true selves, both young and old. We come like a tidal wave, fast and true. Together our memories see us through. No longer held down, we dance in the light. Free to live, love, and shine with all of our might. Thank you.
Good job.
Great job.
She was so nervous, y'all.
Put it
Her
down.
words beautiful though.
Yeah, soulful.
I love it. So let's get a little more into Dina's story, right? In one of her poems, she said, door-to-door preaching, a ruse to gain trust and profit from fright. So those who have children or who are caretakers of those children, what would you advise them?
So to parents and caregivers, I would say be alert and wary of the deception in the preaching work. A tactic used to gain trust and exploit vulnerability. Look beyond the surface, research thoroughly, and prioritize your child's well-being and safety. Don't rely solely on elders' judgment. Seek truth, and remember children are our future. They deserve our protection, care, and justice.
In your other poem, you used the word purged. So I wanted to know why you chose to use such a strong and definitive word.
So I use purge because it conveys the brutal finality of being disfellowshipped and shunned. It means being erased, discarded, and treated as if we never existed. The organization's willingness to sever ties between loved ones leaves deep scars. Purged highlights the pain and degradation that comes from being treated as disposable, contradicting the organization's claims, values of love and compassion.
Yeah.
We ain't purged, y'all. We here.
Yeah.
So let's thank Dina for coming up.
Good job, Dina.
For those who don't know, within the Watchtower, and I'm going to use that expression a lot, right? The Watchtower Bible Tract Society, Because let's not forget, they're a corporation, they're a business, masquerading as a religion, taking advantage of its members and the communities. And the scripture at 2 Corinthians 13:1 is what they use to not report sex abuse, especially among children. And the reason why they do so is because the testimony of 2 or 3 is what you need to prove that this person has been sexually assaulted. I don't know about y'all, but what pedophile, what sex offender is bringing along a wingman? You know, like, what do they need? Cheering on the side? Yeah. They're not doing that. So how could you tell somebody that their truth is not valid or it's not real because there's not another person there to substantiate their claim? We all know how difficult it already is for sex abuse victims to speak out, as it is. So why add that extra layer and not think about when it happens to children? I mean, a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, what are they supposed to do with that type of life situation? Then they speak up, they go to the elders, the persons who are supposed to protect them and advise them on what to do, and then they're hushed, shushed, pushed to the side, and they constantly deny the fact that these things have happened. As a matter of fact, they are exploiting a loophole in the requirement to present and to notify legal officials about this abuse. There's actually 40 states where religious organizations are required to report, but in 30 or more of those states, they found a loophole. Interesting, right? They found it and now they're using it. They found it's a loophole known as clergy pentent, which is the privilege that allows religious organizations to withhold info from authorities when received through confidential spiritual communications. So let's remember that confidential spiritual communications, they found a loophole that doesn't make them liable for reporting sex abuse. As we move on, we're going to go to our next guest who's going to give their testimony about children and the need for them to be able to have a childhood and how this organization affects the human rights of children. So we're going to invite Carla up. She's from Northern Illinois, and to emphasize and to demonstrate that children's human rights are violated when born in and raised as Jehovah's Witnesses. They're denied the right of self-actualization, the realization of their dreams and full potential in life, and living up to that full potential. Fun fact, Carla is a self-taught artist focusing in acrylic painting. So let's bring this creative, beautiful person to give her testimony and experience, not just as a witness herself, but as a mother.
Hi everyone, thank you so much. My name is Carla. You know, I told the organizers that I didn't like public speaking. I'd done it, but I don't like it because I was forced to do it as a child. I never wanted to go up on stage. I didn't want to have to speak at doors to people. I was pretty shy as a child, and I didn't want to do that. It wasn't my choice. Now, it has something that I was able to use in the business world, but because I was forced to do that, it took the joy out of it for me. So today I'm going to talk about human rights and how they relate to children's choices and being able to choose. As many of you here know, the org of Jehovah's Witnesses bills itself as the total solution for all the problems and issues you've got in life. I know this because I was born in and raised into this high control religion, and my parents believed they had found the truth. The Watchtower org is so prescriptive in everything. It tells you what you can do financially. It controls what medical treatment you can have. What movies and TV shows you can watch. Books you can read. Music you can listen to. The people you can associate with, and on and on. All doctrine disseminated from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society must be strictly adhered to, and dissent is apostasy with extreme consequences. Children are heavily impacted by these deprivations of liberty and freedom. According to the United Nations Charter on the Rights of a Child, no child should be denied the right to a childhood. Yet the Jehovah's Witness organization and religion systematically and pathologically disregards the basic human rights of children, all adding up to an emotionally abusive atmosphere. Regardless of a child's personal feelings and beliefs, children have no choice but to follow their parents' directives, which are mandated from the organization. As a child, I found it suffocating. The UN Office of the High Commission's Human Rights Article 18 states everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change your religion or belief or to have none without punishment, including shunning. Further, Article 12 states that every child has the right to express their views, feelings, and wishes in all matters affecting them, and have their views considered and taken seriously. Like many of you, I was denied these rights and a childhood that every child deserves. Nearly every aspect of one's life as a Jehovah's Witness is dictated, and my own childhood was no exception. From birth, I was told what I could and couldn't do, could and couldn't be. I had dreams and aspirations. I showed an early proficiency for drawing and painting, yet no one encouraged me to pursue this talent. I loved dancing and begged my mother every time we drove by the local ballet studio to let me attend classes, and it was always a no. Children are not only denied their right to a childhood, but are even placed at risk of dying by Jehovah's Witness members' refusal of blood transfusions. I was expected to carry a no blood card. I remember that I was very young when my mother provided this card, and if I couldn't carry it, she carried it for me, and every member of my family had that card. And that was in the event that, my parents weren't with me if something were to happen. My mother was very adamant. Under no circumstances were we to receive blood, as this was against Bible principles according to them and a sin against Jehovah. Around age 12-13, which is a pivotal developmental age where most children begin to explore the possibilities of what adulthood will look like, what careers they might look forward to, none of my aspirations were supported, much less encouraged. Instead, it was all intentionally discouraged by my parents. Not overtly, the discouragement was more insidious. It was made abundantly clear in subtle, covert ways by the adults around me and the constant onslaught of Jehovah's Witness organization material, which is disseminated in weekly meetings and read in the Watchtower publications, that I could be none of the things I showed an interest in. I was denied the right to pursue self-actualization. Particularly as a girl, women were to be subjugated to male heads of households, not career women. Children raised as Jehovah's Witnesses don't hear a basic fundamental message that validates their self-esteem, and that is that they can be whatever they want to be. The message that I must accept a much lower status than I dreamed of was communicated in various ways. It was patronizing smiles when I would mention my excited interest in any of the several careers, the absence of any conversation with my parents about my career desires, the lack from the larger JW community posing that proverbial question other children hear, what do you want to be when you grow up? I know what I wanted to be, but when a stranger would ask me this arbitrary question, there was always this awkward silence by my mom, and I would always have to say, I don't know, which wasn't true. All of these methods were capped with the lack of planning by my parents for an education beyond high school, clearly signaling that there was no continuing education in my future. This had a dampening effect on my psyche. According to clinical psychologist Dr. Heidi Green, trauma isn't just the bad stuff that happened, it's also the good stuff that didn't happen. I wasn't rescued by my educators either. It seemed that my teachers all understood that silent communication from my parents and the JW org mandate that I should not be encouraged to pursue my dreams, my educational or career dreams. My fellow high school students all met with career counselors. I was never invited to meet with one. My educators were complicit in this type of psychological abuse against me. Desperate for some encouragement, I remember I clung to one paper from a teacher who praised me for my writing ability. She ended the paper notes with, "You should become a writer." I clung to that. I still have it to this day. Apparently that educator never received the memo to withhold encouragement from JW children in worldly pursuits. Sadly, deprivation of education often leads to lost dreams and consigns people to low income, setting them up for poverty. As per JWFacts.org article quoting research by the Pew Forum, Jehovah's Witnesses are shown to have the lowest average education and income levels of any religion in the United States. The JW org fueled child abuse that brainwashed parents engage in is more sinister to the developing psyche of a child than blatant corporal punishment. According to cult expert Dr. Stephen Hassan, JW teachings cause serious emotional and psychological abuse and can even damage brain development. It is no surprise then that at around age 15, I fell into a deep depression. I will never forget not wanting to live anymore. My future seemed hopeless, rudderless, without any guidance from anyone, with no direction or goals. My sadness at a bleak future was overwhelming, and I had nowhere and no one to turn to. During high school, the only educational encouragement I received from my parents was to take useful classes, such as typing, bookkeeping, and the like, communicating to me clearly that all they expected of me was to become a secretary, as it was called back then. Jehovah's Witnesses are advised against a university education or pursuing any higher education and receive regular warnings against it. As a doomsday cult, Jehovah's Witnesses are taught that the end of the worldly system is near, so higher educational pursuits are meaningless. Higher education is viewed just as bad as smoking, using drugs, and watching violent or immoral movies. This is indoctrinated into Jehovah's Witnesses and was the case in my life. I heard that message loud and clear. It was demoralizing. My parents had been pioneers, as full-time preachers are called in the org. Due to the constant stream of indoctrination coming from the org, I understood that I was expected to just get graduated from high school, enter the unpaid pioneer work, and maybe get a part-time job. As a child, I internalized all of this nonverbal communication and organizational messaging. I felt as though my parents viewed me as too stupid to be anything else. Mentally, I fought those messages. I knew instinctively that I was smarter than what these messages were communicating. I tried believing in myself, knowing on an intuitive level I was capable of much more. However, with no support from my parents or the JW community or the public education system, with my self-esteem damaged and my self-image broken, it was nearly impossible to counter. I was unhappy, listless, and bored. Thankfully, my rebel spirit wasn't entirely extinguished. I was determined to one day live my life my way. And about a year after high school graduation, I had gotten a job and I left home and I secured enough money during that year to be able to leave, and I stopped going to meetings. It took me 10 more years to start college part-time and working full-time because I obviously had to support myself. In our capitalist system, we worry about our children. We worry that they have enough money because that money has to buy food, and it has to buy shelter, and it has to buy health care. So I couldn't go to college. That was denied me. I never realized, though, a college degree. I had to drop out, and I never realized any of my career dreams. I became that Pew Research statistic. Without any family support and isolated from any non-JW extended family, it has been a struggle my whole life to survive. always barely getting by, and with my health drastically affected by it. According to American pediatrician Dr. Nadine Burke-Harris, hailed as a pioneer in her field, adverse childhood experiences are linked with toxic stress levels, leading to unhealthy and harmful health outcomes later in life. The silver lining in this is that my daughter's life was vastly different than my own because I escaped this high control religion and raised her completely differently. Thank you. And I'm so proud of her. She was enrolled in dance classes at age 2 because she loved dance. I saw her dancing and loving music when she was at 2 years old, and she never stopped dancing. In fact, she went on to be a competition dancer all the way through college. And I always gave her the choice. I always told her, you don't want to dance anymore, that's okay. You have to follow your passion. You have to let your children guide you in the way that they want, how they want to choose to live their life and their passions. I taught her to read when she was 4 years old. In kindergarten, she was identified as gifted, which I was told by the school was unprecedented. Throughout her school years, my daughter was continuously in gifted classes and an honors society member, accepted to the Honors College at university, graduating magna cum laude in environmental biology, and has recently earned her master's degree also in biology. She grew up being celebrated, noticed, and cared about. She was not emotionally neglected like we were, like I was. This was the childhood and life that I was denied. As cult expert Dr. Stephen Hassan has pointed out, these are not only children's rights, these are human rights. These are also women's rights that we are fighting for here today. What I and others experience is undeniably child neglect and abuse. The degradation I experienced led to broken self-esteem and a lack of self-worth, leading to a cascade of more abuse in my life and tolerance of domestic violence. Novelist and activist Alice Walker reminds us the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. I am a living example that we must have and that we have the power to affect change, and we must act now to help protect children from cult upbringing by raising awareness of the insidious damage that is inflicted upon children's minds, their mental health, their self-worth, self-confidence, and self-esteem. Thank you.
She didn't even want to speak. I hate to say peer pressure did it, but it did. Aren't we so happy and proud of her? It's a beautiful thing that she had the opportunity not to repeat that with her daughter. And as a mother, I understand what that's like. So thank you so much for coming up. I did want to ask a few questions about some of the things you mentioned in your speech. First, I wanted to ask you, how old were you when you had to carry this no blood card?
Yeah, I was in elementary school. I think I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. And I also remember that the card changed later in my high school years. It had a red blood, bag and with a red circle and line through it. I see Erica's nodding her head. I remember that, and man, that was a mandate.
I remember carrying one as well, which is very interesting because at 8 or 9, you don't fully understand what you're saying or what you're doing, especially as a child. I mean, to think that you were facing death in those moments for not taking blood, right? You don't know, but it's interesting how that happens.
Yeah, you don't understand the ramifications and the consequences of some type of decision like that at all. Thank goodness nothing happened, to my brother and I.
And the interesting thing is, for those who don't know, at one point, blood transfusions were not allowed, like a hard no, But then later on, they said, oh, you can take blood fractions, parts of blood, So which is it, no blood or blood fractions. And where do those fractions come from? Blood. So whenever they're under fire, they choose to change at their will just to make themselves look bad. But guess what? All of those children, all of those mothers who may have died, all of the brothers, all of the sisters that did not get a blood transfusion, guess what has happened? They're not coming back. You cannot undo the loss. You cannot say, oh, take the fractions. Yeah, but I just let my child die 2 years ago. Like, what? Where were these fractions at my time when I needed the fractions? The other thing I wanted to ask you too is you mentioned a deep, grave depression at around the age of 15. I would like to know, how did your parents or even the congregation help you? Did they respond? Did they support you?
Nobody knew. I hid it.
What, did you feel like you had to hide it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't think anybody would understand.
Wow, so you had all these people around you, love bombing you, saying they love and care. A community, a brotherhood, right? A worldwide brotherhood. But you could not express or share or seek the help that you needed at age 15.
Yeah, you're supposed to be so joyful. You're supposed to be, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're always having to put on this happy face, you know? They're the happy, group, the happy religion, because they have hope. They have a future. You're not supposed to show depression and be a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, heavens forbid you be human, right? That's what that is. So it's very unfortunate. So you mentioned the word indoctrinate, which is the process of teaching a person or group to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. So no critical thinking, you just accept what they say, do as you're told. You're not allowed to think about it or process it to see if it's even something that's good for you personally or that's good for your fellow man in general. Now, I have a child, obviously Carla too is a mom, and I remember hearing this and I actually did this. They would say you need to inculcate the truth into your children. They say it over and over and over again, inculcate, inculcate, which interestingly means to persist in instruction. So literally to beat that into your kid's head week after week, day after day. What are they supposed to do? How are they going to respond? How are they going to self-actualize, right? How are they going to advocate for themselves if they're constantly being taught from birth on that this is the only thing that they can do and that they should do? There's grave consequences with that as well. Because with me being disfellowshipped, which is a cult term, meaning shunned, I have unfortunately lost contact and communication with my daughter. And it was of my own doing. Because when I was one of them, I inculcated all of that stuff into my daughter. So I can't be mad at her for where she's at, or for her making her free will, her choice to not have a relationship with me. But my God, does it hurt. It hurts.
I'm not even disfellowshipped, and I was forced to get baptized when I was 15. I just did it to please my parents. But all my extended family don't talk to me. We don't get together. There's no family reunions.
Yeah, because if you're not one of them, you're bad association. You could mar the members who are still active, as if they are not intelligent enough to hold their own. Think about that. Oh, ye of little faith. You're going all the time, but you can't afford to talk to someone who has a different belief or thought than you. So does that make me incompetent or unable to defend my own faith? I mean, that's what we're taught to do in the community that we're preaching. We're talking to people who think and believe differently from us. So if we don't stay away from them, why do we have to stay away from members who chose to leave? I mean, it's voluntary. I mean, I volunteer for organizations all the time, not every day. But if I choose not to come back and volunteer, they're not like dissing me. So very interesting thoughts. Let's thank Carla for coming up today.
Good job, Carla.
So she talked a lot about rights for children, women's rights, right? Human rights. And so Today I can say that I'm so privileged and so grateful to have not just one, but two human rights activists here today who are like eyebrow deep in human rights. And so the first guest speaker that we will bring up today, her name is Jeanette Mata, and she is a member of the International Institute for Human Rights. She has a plethora of other credentials, which I will let her speak for herself, but please give her a round of applause because she is going to teach us how we begin this journey of actually fighting for and insisting that our human rights be respected. Let's bring up Jeanette.
Thank you, everybody. This is just something, I always believe in timing, and I believe that things happen when they have to happen. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you all for being here. And thank you for all the speakers before me. I want to say this, and you will see how. I have a piece of everyone that has spoken. I don't write poetry, but your stories are here. I am you. And everyone that knows me, and in my business, in my organization, everybody knows that I say that I am not me, I am we. Because we all share a common ground that something always happens to all of us. I have managed, through schooling, and I have so many titles and all kinds of stuff. But my mission, my purpose is to protect, defend, and educate, extend this knowledge and this experience to all of you so that we all can become advocates for human rights. I breathe, my DNA is human rights. My story, before I get to why I am here today. So as a child, at home, I was raped from the age of 6 to 9. We were brought up into a religious, and we have all kinds of religions in my family. But there was a fear impregnated in me because I was always told that if I spoke, I was not going to be believed. And that's what a lot of religions do. Don't speak, they won't believe you. It's going to categorize you somewhere where your self-worth is controlled, is manipulated. And I grew up with that fear. I went through, oh my God, years and years and years of trauma-based and all kinds of pills and all kinds of stuff, because I was told that I was schizophrenic, and I was told that I was a borderline everything. But inside of me as a child, I said, I am not that. Somebody hurt me. And I am not that, and I can't speak because I was told I wasn't going to be believed. Fast forward, I am alive with the grace of God because I was felt victim to domestic violence. And there also, I went to countless churches and all kinds of people to help me. But it's just that we are not supposed to let our minds and our emotions of who we are be controlled, because that's a violation of our human rights. Our human rights, all of us, please listen to me. All of us have the exact human rights no matter where we are born. We have the right to be here. We have the right to be wherever we want to go. Just like people come into our country, we are free to go to theirs. That's our God-given right when we are born. So the way that we have to come together, this should be full of people, but it's not full of people because people do not know what human rights are. Because I know if I ask, some people, do you know what human rights are? They go, well, I think, no, you have to know what human rights are. Because when you know what your human rights are, trust me, your life will change. And not only that you will be a beacon, because you will be able to transform the lives of so many, and that's why I am here today. Through my journey, I one day said, I cannot be controlled anymore. I cannot be told. Just like someone said, I used to sing. I grew up in a family of musicians, and I used to sing beautifully. But because my own mother, may she rest in peace, I was not enough. I was told I would never be enough. And so one day when I had Sony Records was going to sign me, she ripped up the contract and my vocal cords were gone. I haven't been able to sing again. I sing in the shower. But I haven't been able to sing again. But it's when they rip your soul from you because they violate, they infiltrate in your mind your self-worth, which is your worthness that you're born with. Human rights is everything. Everything. It's a huge umbrella that covers us. But if we don't learn what it is, you won't be able to protect yourself, and hence you won't be able to protect others. Article 29 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says it's our responsibility, to take care, to protect our rights, but respect and protect the rights of others. So this is a chain. This is a chain reaction. This is a ripple effect. And when we learn what human rights are, we will be able to create that community, to create, that unity, that global unity that has to happen now. Look where we are today in this country. With division, with so many, we are all the same. We are all the same. This division, please, close your ears to the hatred. Close your ears to the division. We are all the same. And since when we learn our human rights, we learn that it's okay to have a different opinion because it's our right. So we never are in disagreement, because if we agree that we disagree, that's an agreement. So let's respect each other. We can think whichever way we want to think. That's our human right. But we have to come together. But the right way to do this is when you know your human rights. And because one day I woke up and I said, I'm not going to be hurt anymore. I'm not going to be controlled anymore. I'm not going to be told who I am and who I am not, how much worth I have or not. And I kept on studying. I have 2 master's degrees. I'm multilingual. I have traveled the world. I've done so much. And I opened the only CPD accredited 501c3 nonprofit human rights organization in Tampa Bay, where I'm based in Tampa Bay. And I founded and created the International Institute for Human Rights. I am the founder and CEO of the International Institute for Human Rights, based in Tampa, but we are global. Learn your human rights. Religions, trust me, I lost my mother's family. My entire mother's family went into Jehovah Witnesses. We don't even know where they're at. My cousins, they're my sisters and brothers, because we grew up together. They grew up in my household, under our roof. We don't know where they're at, because we lost them to Jehovah Witness, to that religion. But make no mistake, it's not only Jehovah Witness. There are so many that are in government. There are so many around us, and they give you all these materials and everything, and they are under a facade of another name. But you gotta be careful what the information that you're receiving, because they pull you in. They have that ability to pull you in, and once you're in, then they start with this manipulation. But stand strong, stand firm on your human rights, and nobody will be able to penetrate. Nobody will be able to violate your human rights, because you already know what they are. You know what you are. So I invite you all that no matter what, please, you can reach out to me, reach out to these organizers. I'll put you in touch, wherever you're at. You can come to us also and learn your human rights. Get certified, become an advocate, because then you'll extend. We have to create a unity, a global unity. We have to unite ourselves. We have to stop, shunning. When somebody tells you, like when I was on the verge of committing suicide 3 times in my lifetime. The last time was in my mother's house. And those that are supposed to be there to protect you and love you and embrace you, when the cops came, 8 cops came. And when the sergeant started talking to me, because they had to take me into a hospital, and I was speaking to them just like I am right now, and they told my mother, you have to come with her because she can't go alone. She said, well, that's her problem. That's her problem. And this happens every single day. I have a book that's coming out. It's called Behind My Smile. because I want to do an exercise. Please, everybody smile. Smile, smile, smile. Everybody smile. Now, does anybody know what's behind that smile? Because we're here today, and some of us, not a lot of us, may have some situations at home or in our lives internally, but we smile. So we have to, bring out the best in each other, because we are human beings, and we have a heart that has a pulse. When we cut each other, our blood, it has only one color universally. The color of blood is red, no matter where we're born. Come on, we have to, cut this nonsense. Religions and churches, they all cover up. Because of, yes, they have their standards, they are legally bound with something, but when you know that in your church, there's a child that's being molested. Just in Miami, there was a few months ago, a priest, he renounced to his priesthood because one of the persons that was going to church for years confessed to this priest that his 7-year-old daughter, hear me, his 7-year-old daughter, this man confessed to the priest that since age 4, he had his daughter perform oral sex on him. And there are a lot of churches that know a lot of things like this and even worse, and they don't say a word. So how are you not going to protect the rights of this child? How are you not going to incarcerate that predator? How are you going to protect? How is the church going to? What is the church going to represent in front of other people? Because you're coming for guidance, because you're coming for that spiritual protection. Because everybody always reaches out to something or someone, but you have to, number one, protect your rights. Religion, God is for everybody. Whatever you call him, Jehovah, God, whatever, Yahweh, it's one. There's one creator. There's one creator. We don't come from, this one creator. Call him whatever. And your faith has to be respected. But when you know that something is going on, you have to say something. We have to do something. Protecting our rights is mandatory. It sets us free from binding, free from religions, from sex, from codes, from our identity. Don't let anyone ever rob your identity. Protect your human right. Love who you are. We are different. This is the beauty of our world. Look around. We are, and we're united here. So next year, when we do this again, this has to be full, because it has to be full of advocates for human rights. And we have to, take this all over the world. People with disabilities, thank you. Those that can't fend for themselves, how are we not going to be there for them? If we go to church and we believe, I have to take care of my brother and my sister. I don't care where you're 30, because that's what I do. They criticize me back where I live because I protect immigrants. I do, and I will do. And I will fight, and I will die protecting them. Why? Because they're just like you and me. They're just like you and me. God forbid something happens in the United States and we have to go somewhere else. It could happen. COVID hit and the world changed. Don't ever think that nothing ever can happen in the United States. Hey, we're not immune. We got attacked. We've been attacked. We are on the attack right now at home for so many reasons and so many types of different kinds of things. We have to. If we protect our rights and we protect each other, then we are. Words are bullets, and words are saviors. So we gotta be careful how we talk, how we be real, but to stay true to who we are as human beings. My name is Jeanette Mata. I am the founder and CEO of Miel y Canela Foundation. Everything that we do in 7 languages. We're multilingual. I am multilingual. And I'm the founder of the International Institute for Human Rights. I'm also on the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. What else? Oh, I'm the chair of the Human Rights of the Human Relations Board in Hillsborough County in Tampa, and a plethora of there's so many things that I am. But you know what I am? I am we. I am we. I am for you, and you, all of you, come to me and let's do this together. We figure it out, but it's just one common ground, and it's to be free. To be free and to live our rights as human beings. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I would say, first, thank you. When it comes to human rights, all of us here, 9 times out of 10, really don't even know where to begin to research our human rights. Where is the first place that we should start to learn our rights?
I always say, it's like, I'm going to put an example. When the immigrant, I hate the word immigrant, we're all immigrants. But when immigrants come to me, to my office, I always tell them, don't listen to anyone. Don't look at TikTok, go straight to USCIS, which is the United States Citizens and Immigration Service. Go to the source. So I tell you to learn what human rights are, go to the source. The source is the United Nations. Go to the United Nations Human Rights .org, and that's where it begins. Or call me. Yeah, I'll no matter where you're at, you could be in another country. This is universal. Okay, but start to get the correct information. It starts in in the United Nations. The office, the prime office where it all started, where it was born, is in Geneva, the United Nations hub in Geneva. That's where human rights started. And it was Eleanor Roosevelt, our first lady, that started all of this. And thank God for her in 1948. But if you want to go to the source, go to the United Nations, and it's there. Get involved. Let's do United Nations chapters in our cities. We can do that. I can teach you that. Somebody from, sorry. But yeah, go to the source. The source for human rights, the source, the right information is the United Nations. Or call me.
On a local, like state level, if we actually want to affect change, meaning like through legislation and bills, where do we need to go within our own states to start to have our voices not only heard, but for people to listen so that way it can march up the line to Congress? What's our first step back?
Congregate. Learn first what human rights are. Teach it to others and get a community, get your community involved. From there, go up the chain of command. Because if you go to the top, they're gonna say, did you go to the bottom? Did you start? But at least you take, just make that list. You start with your commissioner. And then from the commissioner, you go to the mayor. And then from the mayor, you go to your state representative. And then you go to your state. If they don't want to do nothing, we're here. Let's come here. Okay? But first, learn, because once I tell you something, once you learn what human rights are, even more so, if you get certified as a certified consultant, as an advisor for human rights, it's gonna come in your blood, because you're gonna learn so much more. You're going to evolve so much as the human being that we are, that it's infectious, it's contagious. And I won't do anything else but this. I mean, I'm in love with what I do, and that's how you start, that's how you create change. By coming together, learn your human rights so that you can teach it to others. Congregate and look in your respective states, in your communities, what is missing, what is needed. Because again, like I said, human rights covers everything. So look and go into those communities that need that help and help them make that advocacy for human rights as well. And that's how change is created.
All right, let's thank her for coming out. You guys, oh my gosh. I don't think we have the time to actually talk about all that she does and all that she is, but I am very grateful to have been put in contact with her. It literally was like the stars aligned. In the past, I would have been like, I would have just sent it up. But no, things happen, that's just life. What we're going to do is we are going to take a 20-minute break to give everyone time to rehydrate, go to the restroom, take pictures, get to know everybody here, and just enjoy our time together. So 20 minutes, it is now 12:25. I think so. We will be back here at 12:45.
Because then we
And
can
then we'll
switch
have our
phones.
second round of guests giving their testimonies, and I'm so looking forward to that. But I also want to let you guys know that me and my partner have started a nonprofit organization called Liberated Consciousness, and we also partnered with Jeanette to be certified human rights advocates, consultants, advisors. So I'm very looking forward to that. And the classes that she and I will be hosting can even be done virtually, okay? We could come to you depending on the circumstances, but virtually is something that we definitely want to start with. So our organization in particular wants to help people find a fun, autonomous way to go through their journey of healing and recreating themselves and finding themselves for the first time. So we'll be able to look everyone up, and you can join our Facebook group. Are you part of the Facebook group? Are you on the Facebook group? Everybody gets the Facebook group, all right? If you just find us on Facebook, we're Liberated Consciousness. So go ahead and join. We'll post updates, funny memes. We'll keep each other encouraged. We'll do all the things. We're not going to rant because we're past that, right? We are past it. We're turning our pain into power, all right? So go ahead and disperse. We'll be back here about 12:45, and then we'll go ahead and finish the second half of our demonstration. Thank you guys for being here.